was doing well. Let's get the little bit. Where is that thing? Over on YouTube. Yeah, that's enough. Don't have to loop the sound. Yeah, okay, looks okay. Doesn't look amazing, but I don't get it. I'm using the HD option in StreamYard, and it still doesn't look that HD. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, good. Everyone, welcome aboard to the Chillest, the most relaxed live stream ever. I have a mess in the background. There's stuff in the closet. There's this bag here that has curtains in it. We have to put up over the windows. I'm on my week off, and I didn't want to do like a live stream just for fun. So yeah, let's see who's here. Hey, RK, how are you doing? I can show you your messages today because I'm using StreamYard much more easily. Let me check the audio, make sure I can actually. Good, yeah, okay. There's a bit of an echo. Is it using the proper mic? Let's see here. That's strange. Audio. Oh no! Don't use the camera's audio. Dum. Use the microphone. Okay, it should be better now. Let me test it out. I'm gonna wait for the feedback to hear it. And now it's gonna change. Yeah, okay, that's a little better. It's not perfect, but it's much better. So yeah, hey RK, how are you doing? Hey David, I hope you're doing super well. Hey Jansart, greetings to you. Hey MB, I'll stay at home today. Too much ice and snow outside. Perfect. We have the perfect setup here. Keep you entertained for an hour or two, probably closer to 2, hopefully. Hey Jill, how are you doing? Hope everything is super well. Hey Ted, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Lydia, how are you? Paula, good morning from rainy Yorktown, Virginia. Megan, hey Liron, just moved from Germany to Sweden. It's 11. Oh, that's cool. That's really nice. So wait, 11C. What is C? I don't know. Is that 11 like close to midnight or wait? No, it is. It's noon, right? Because it's Sweden. It's the time zone. I think it's that. It's close to my time zone. Sweden time now. 3. Oh, okay, it's 11 degrees. I'm like, what is C? And it took me a moment to figure it out. Yeah, okay. So I guess it's cold. John, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Robin, good morning to you too. Fire Lily, hello. By the way, Megan, I hope the move was easy, smooth. Moving is a nightmare. Can be a nightmare sometimes. Hope you have a vest. Oh yeah, definitely needs a vest. Celsius, yeah. Took me a moment. Sorry. Hey, Saint Inky, how are you doing? Patricia, hello from freezing rain, Charlottesville, Virginia. Wow. Yeah. So I don't know. Winter's non-existent here. Um, I don't know what it is. So we visited Tel Aviv today, which is the city, if you remember, we used to live in. We actually moved a couple of months ago, and everything was wet there. So I assume it was raining, but here there was no rain, and we're supposed to be a little colder, a little southeast. So basically, should be a little colder, and no rain, nothing. We barely. I think there was like 4 or 5 rainy days this season, which is strange. It's really strange. But I can't complain. I like the cold and the winter atmosphere, but I don't like the rain as much anyway. So Blaze, how are you doing? Good morning, happy painter. Fire Lily, will you be painting today? Not today. If you want a painting live stream, that's not gonna be this one. So sorry about that. Hey Nak, how are you doing? Hey Victor, salutations from Baltimore. Thank you for being here. Fun time, how are you doing? From Florida. SAA art product. Oh my god, SAA is here. That's super cool. Thank you for being here. Hey, Liron, looking very chill today. Yep. It's gonna be a fairly relaxed live stream. That's really cool. I should show more SAA paints. I have quite a few here. I have a few that I need to open. I still haven't used. I have a really interesting lemon yellow and this is like an orange, some kind of a very fiery orange that I need to test out. But yeah, So it's been a vacation week for me, which means that I talked a bit about this in the previous live stream. Basically, you can see some of the art supplies here. It's fun. Wait, right behind me. See here, some acrylic paints and stuff that I don't use as much. This is the more, mostly not watercolor. My watercolors are actually under my work desk for the most part. Hey Amara, how are you doing? Boker Tov. So what are we doing today? Oh, we're just talking. So I wanted to give you an update because I'm trying a bit of a different work format, which is strange, and maybe it can encourage you to give it a try. Now, it really will vary depending on what you do and the constellation in which you work. But I have the huge luck to be able to do like this flexibility with my work. So what I've tested out was doing 1 week on, 1 week off. So basically, I worked for a week, and this week was off work for me. I did not do almost any work. The idea is, and I learned this from an old blog post by Steve Pavlina, who's a great guy, very interesting person, that if you divide your weeks basically into on and off, it ends up being more productive, because when you have that switching between the two modes, you end up actually working more effectively on the work week because you're more well rested and renewed, and because you only have a week, because then a week off comes, so you have to plan your time. So what ends up happening is you end up getting more work done in less time, and you have a full week for doing real hobbies, things, personal development stuff, spending time with family, doing important work around the house, things that are more personal and you consciously work on. So it's not a week of just staring at the television, though I did have a day or two of watching a lot of Netflix, but it's more of a day of being actively resting, which is very interesting. So this was my first time doing that, and I will talk to you a bit about what I did. I did a bunch of weird things, new things for the first time, so it's going to be fun. SA, always happy to use your paints. Yeah. I have a lot of tubes of yours that I finished. I'm making a jar. I'll show you. I'm making this jar of finished paint tubes, the end pencils. So every time I finish one, I throw it in. I finished way more than this. I just started doing this fairly recently, maybe a year and a half ago. So yeah, it's fun to fill in a jar, and then once it will be too full, I'll switch to a larger size, and then it'll be really cool. I'll turn on the light from there. Give me a second. Even though it barely rains, it still gets a little dark. Daiji, hey, happy you're here. On time is the best option, even though you're not going to miss any painting processes today, but still very happy to have you on time. Hey Spidey, hey Liron, I'm from India, shout out me please. My name is Trisha, here's a shout out. Paula, watch anything good on Netflix, always looking for something new. So let me think. I watched a few really good ones. So I watched Ajin, which is, if you like more anime stuff, this, which was a bit freaky. Now it's not over yet. There's 2 seasons, and I just switched over to the manga. But it's good. It's really good if you like that kind of a thing. I started watching Rick and Morty again. I kind of quit on the end of the 2nd season because I was busy, stopped watching TV almost altogether, and then it was really fun to go back to it. I watched also Parasite, The Maxim, which is another anime one. I'm usually watching anime. I did really enjoy Arcane. Arcane, Parasite, The Maxim is really good and underrated. It's 2 things, right? Arcane, which everyone's, well, I mean, a lot of people have heard of, and Parasite the Maxim is very underrated. It's very good. So yeah, Plumpy, good morning, y'all. Hey, I love that painting, Plumpy. I love that. Beautiful colors. Ansart, when the jar is full, paint it. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do a still life of that. That's a really good. I can't believe I haven't even thought of that. David, I took your 100 cars projects and I'm trying it painting water. I want number 6 out of 20, and it is exhausting painting the same type of subject. Yeah, David. So first off, way to go. Great. It's a great thing to do. It's very fun. And by the time you get to 20, you'll look back and you'll think to yourself, wow, I improved in painting water. Now, one thing to make it less exhausting, and this will work in your favor, water has tons of variation to it. So you can really try out a lot of different things. Maybe it's a glass of water, maybe it's a puddle of water in the street and you see reflections and really fun stuff. I have a project like this I want to do soon. I have a nice puddle of water I took a picture of here. Maybe it's a water drop. Of course, different types of drops. You can do a lot with it, actually. So quite a nice variety. Don't let it exhaust you, because I did. There were times where I'm like, why am I painting so many cars? But for the most part, it wasn't too exhausting. So make it interesting. Hans says Ajin is sick. It's so unique. Yeah, it's such a cool idea. I started watching it, and it's one of those shows I can't really think of one character that I like in terms of personality. You know what I mean? Everyone's just annoying, but it's good. It's annoying. They're believable characters. I just don't like them. And I do like sometimes to have a protagonist or antagonist or anti-hero or whatever that I actually like. And it's like the main character, I just don't like him. He's so annoying. It's so annoying, but it's fun. It's fun to watch, Yeah, Plumpy Agent was dope. I wish there was more. Yeah, I just switched over to the manga and I just will read that. I know chapter 22, if I'm not mistaken, is where you should pick off because they actually changed quite a bit. So that was good news for me. I don't care. Wednesday, yeah. We gave it a watch. We watched the first episode. It was kind of boring to me. But I heard a lot of good things. Like a lot of people said the characters were really good, but the story and writing wasn't as good. So like the characters are really cool, the casting is really on, really accurate. But yeah, Castlevania, I actually watched that a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. I watched season 1, was 10 out of 10, and actually I'm gonna open up one of the battles that I wanted to rewatch, and I'll leave it open for their Castlevania. That was really good. And then I watched season 2. It was also really good. And I think I stopped around the end of season 2. Just didn't pick it up since, but I'll probably go back to it. It was pretty good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Trisha. Much appreciated. If you want to see some paintings, by the way, let me know. I can bring some stuff in. It's just a fun one. We can do whatever we want. If you want me to react to a process, whatever you want. Today is just a fun one. I wanted to do a live stream because it's actually easier. So it's great for me on a week off, just to chat with you and see what's up. But I wanted to keep it, very light. So yeah. So any questions you have, watercolor, whatever, feel free to ask. Just complete freedom. Flobby Bobby, yo, my people, how are you doing? I love that picture. It's so good. It's such a memeable film. Megan, Liron, it was an exhausting move, and I am still waiting for 12 packages to arrive with DHL, man. But I have some paint and paper, so at least I can start painting again. Yeah, so actually moving from one country to another, I can't imagine. Even if you move like really far away, but it's still a car drive away, it makes like it's a little easier, even with a moving company, to just take everything and move it. But wow, yeah, I guess it's a bit more complex than this when it's cross country. And so yeah, the packages, can you track them at least? Like it's not lost, right? It's just gonna take a while, I guess. Not today, Flobby Bobby, but we can do reactions. I can look at some painting processes with you if you want us to. Say Inky, Rick and Morty made a fun shooter called High on Life. Oh, I didn't know that. High on Life. High on Life. Like an actual game. Oh, one thing I did do. Oh, it looks good. One thing I did do was, so a few years ago, a lot of years ago, I purchased like a bunch of video games on Steam. Never got to play them. But I actually played a bit of Rise of Tomb Raider. Lara Croft. Rise of Tomb Raider, I think it's 2015 or 2016 was when it was released, and it is good. Yesterday I played like 3 hours. It's so good. Video games are good also for this week off because it's like a hobby. It's like a fun thing, and you can be productive at it. It's such a good game. It's like stupid action in the best way possible. The story is good too, and the voice acting and the visuals are so good, and the dialogues are good. They're believable. It's not like the craziest story because it is a video game at the end of the day, but it is interesting, and the action is so good. Like explosions, you jump around and shoot stuff. Man, it was like I was missing that. It's just a fun game action. Sometimes it's lonely. I feel like painting, but I feel exhausted just by thinking about it. Should I take a break? It's interesting. So very often, I'll refer to a book I read a long time ago, but I really liked, by Stephen Pressfield. You probably heard of it, the War of Art, like a reversal on the art of war. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, where he talks about the idea of resistance. And I think this exhaustion is a form of that resistance that he talks about in that book. Basically, there are powers that keep us from doing the thing we know we should be doing, or the thing that will benefit us, or the thing that will benefit people around us or the world. It's like that straight and narrow path is sometimes very hard to walk mentally. And there are a lot of things to do about it. I will challenge you to maybe think about this exhaustion in a different way. So instead of looking at it as something that is part of you, try and see if you can detach from it and have it, okay, it's there. I see it. I see the exhaustion, but I'll decide not to give it any sort, not to interact with it, not to entertain it. So even though it's an emotion, you keep it out of your emotional sphere. So you acknowledge it, it's there, but I'm going to try and do it anyway. I'm going to try and paint anyway. And a good way to do it is to just say, I feel this kind of energy that prevents me from doing, or it feels like, what's the point? Or I don't really feel like it. Or, maybe I'll just continue scrolling through my phone and doing whatever I'm doing. There are more important things to do, all of that. And just set it aside and tell yourself, you know what, I'm not going to do anything too spectacular. I'm just going to grab my brush and some paint and just splash some paint on the paper, like real abstract. Just throw some paint, do a couple of squiggly lines, very basic stuff, and then let go. And that's the goal. That's the intention you set for yourself. That's all I'm gonna do, and actually stop after you do it, because this thing, it's just, there's a lot of powers that prevent us from doing that. I don't know what they are. I don't know how to define it, but I feel it all the time. It doesn't happen to me with painting, funny enough. Happens to me with a lot of other things, with writing, with working on the website stuff, technical stuff, marketing stuff. That can happen. And of course, there are things that scare you. So, for example, I had my first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class on Tuesday, 2 days ago. I was scared to death. But that's different. That's actually something you're scared of, so it prevents you from doing it. In my case, it didn't. I went. It was really fun. Didn't break anything so far, so that's good. I can talk more about it if anyone is interested. It was a crazy experience, very different from the usual stuff. Like, I'm very artistic. I'm very well versed in creativity. Even if it's sculpting or something. Like, I have. It's accessible to me in a smoother way. It's much easier for me to get started doing something artistic, music, all of that, writing. But this was so different. Sparring and doing physical maneuvers was very different for me. So that's fear. That's something a little different. But so it's like, I recognize, it's so funny. If I can give this energy of voice, it will be something like, I recognize that there's this one thing you should be doing, and you'll enjoy it, and it's going to be great, but I'm so scared that if you enjoy it, you kind of forget that I exist. This voice is trying to keep you under control. And sometimes, it is a helpful voice, but like, I'm so scared you'll have so much fun that I have to prevent you from doing that. I want to maintain as much control as I can. So just take this voice, set it in the corner, tell it, here, sit down, good boy. It's okay. I know you exist, but I'm just going to do these bunch of scribbly marks and see what happens. I hope that gives you maybe a new perspective on it. It's nothing new. It's not new ideas. I read this stuff a long time ago, but it actually can help. Hans, I'm using a very cheap Akai. It says professional. It's not. Headphones cost about, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks. And I need to replace them soon because they're starting to really become. See this? They're done. I find flakes of the green color on my desk, so it's time to buy new ones. I have a couple of others, like I have these ones that are really good, and I have some others, but these don't have the jack I need. I need this and this one, and an adapter won't do because it goes straight to the mic. I actually need this type of a connection. So yeah. Liron, get that guitar down and show some riff. I actually played a bit this week. I tried playing something from Parasite. Once I know how to play it better, I may perform. I may do one for you. I don't remember much. I remember chords, like most of the chords, but I really don't remember much. Tabs and not like actual tabs for songs. I'm so bad at it. Yes. Have you used Himi Gouache? I've never used gouache at all, so definitely not Himi Gouache, which I have no idea what it is. So let me check. Himi Gouache. Nope. I'm completely oblivious to this thing. What makes it special? Let me know. Nak, stop motion movies from Leica Studio are amazing too. Studio. I think I know. I think I watched a few. Yeah, I definitely watched that. Was that like the same company that did those creepy? What was it? Like a creepy children's show with stop motion? I don't remember. Ted, I got a GoPro Hero 9 Black now and new watercolor paint and palette. Just trying to get the nerve to do a video. Just too nervous. Well, what do I do to edit? Any advice, buddy? Yeah, definitely. So first off, don't be nervous about filming. So if you haven't filmed yet, just film. So here's my advice for that: just turn the camera on and paint. You can later decide not to post if you don't like something, right? So whenever you feel like you're scared to film, just film and ignore it and try it out. You don't like it, delete the video and then the next painting film again. That's all you need to do, really. It doesn't matter, it's not live streaming. You can decide later on if you don't want to post it. So just remove all of that pressure. As for editing, I think there are quite a few free options for you, like Windows Movie Makers. That's still a thing. There are a few. Just search best free video editing software. You'll find like 5 that are good. There's at least like 2 or 3 that are free 100%. I know Filmora is free, but they have this annoying watermark unless you buy it. But it is a one-time purchase, so I don't remember if Final Cut Pro is free on Mac. I don't think so. I think it's a one-time payment. But my advice for editing is you either do a time lapse if you want something simple, just put music or your voice, just run the video at double or triple speed, and then just cut the edges. So cut the moment before when you're just mixing or doing stuff, and then cut the end at the part after. Cut the edges, leave the middle, just have the process in. Don't overthink the editing though. Just edges and run it in high speed if you want to do a time lapse style. That's pretty much it. If you want to edit the audio, again, most software, like you have Audacity, AUDAC, AUD and City, AUDA City, Audacity, like it sounds. Is it spelled the same as the word Audacity? I think it is, which is free. You can record your audio that way. You can record it on your phone and add it to the video. There's plenty of ways, but just don't overthink it. It's really simple. Let me know if you have specific questions. You can email me too if you have specific questions about videos, editing, and so on. I'll be happy to help. I'm using Premiere Pro. That's like the best thing, I think, for just editing. But I've been doing it for a long, long time. King of Art, Carlos Gatdula. Hello, I'm a fan. Thank you so much for being here. And you say that you're also a ninja. No. So thank you so much. Mark, what's up, Liron? Ola from Madrid. Thank you for being here, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Saint Anki, High on Life is on the Xbox Game Pass for PC for $1. First month, in case you want to play it Dirt cheap. Okay, so $1 for the first month, and then what? Is it a subscription thing? Maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Rick and Morty fan. It's just a fun, nonsensical show to watch. Um, like I can be on my phone as I watch it. I can listen. That's the big thing because with anime and Japanese stuff, I can't. But it looks really good. Like graphics, it looks cool. Yeah, I might just try it. Oh, it's by Epic Games. Okay, cool. I might just try it. Do I have Epic Games? Yeah, I have it for. I think for Rise of Tomb Raider. I think. I hate Ubisoft's like software, but everything else I'm okay with. Plumpy, I'd recommend checking out Blue Period. It's an anime about a kid who goes to art school and is surprisingly bingeable. So I actually tried reading the manga and I didn't like it as much, but I may try the anime if it's good. Is it on Netflix? I may give it a try. This as soon as I heard of it, I was like, "Oh, it's perfect. It's my kind of subject, you know. It's art and painting." But I just didn't really like the manga. But maybe for the anime, it'll be different. I do know the manga is good. Like I think it's good. I just didn't connect with it as much. But yeah, I heard good things about it. Mark, video games are definitely not my thing. I used to play a little bit with my son when he was a young boy, but I never got the bug. The first video game I ever played was the ping pong game back in 1974. Yep. To me, for years, it was a thing when I was maybe 15, and then for years, I haven't done any of it. And then I played a bit. One of my all-time favorites is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR. 1 and 2, fantastic. And then there was supposed to be a third one, and I think BioWare or the other studio went out of business or something, and they canceled it. And I was so disappointed. It's one of the best, like most fun RPGs I ever played. It's really good. And I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan. Like I tried watching the films and they didn't age as well for me. Like I know they're perfect. I know for anyone who was watching them back when they were out, they're the best. To me, it was a little hard to get into, but I love the universe itself, so I really enjoyed the game. Like really enjoyed it. 1 and 2, KOTOR. Sometimes it's lonely. Thank you for your advice. I will pick up my brush and paint. Maybe it might change my mood. Love your tutorial. It helped me out. Oh, thank you. Yeah, just, zero pressure. Remember that it has to be fun. It has to be fun. It's not worth doing if it's not fun. So might as well have fun doing it. The lowest expectations you can have, just put some marks on paper and call it a day. Like you can even treat it as a task. That works for some people. Just do a couple of swatches and done, Spidey, are you watching FIFA World Cup? A lot of people around me are doing bets with among their group of friends. I'm not into should I call it soccer or football? I'm not into that. It's pretty boring to me, honestly. I did like playing a bit. It was mainly defense. I was a big kid, as in fat, just a bit, and I was pretty decent defense, but I just didn't really never connected with it like to watch. Just as a kid, when we collected the cards, I did watch a bit. Let me do this. I'm gonna remove myself. I always forget to mute. So what's the point of removing myself if I'm not muting? But yeah, a lot of people around me are interested in watching and doing bets and stuff, and it's fun. To me, sometimes it's fun. So if it's a really important game, we'll have it on and I'll watch. And it's exciting. Once you get into it, it is a bit exciting. Yeah, but I know nothing about I barely know. Like, I know Neymar and I know Messi and I know a bunch of other players, but not like barely any. So I'm so bad at it. Lollipop Strawberry, hey, how are you? Hope everything is well with you. Janzart, I don't play often enough to keep my fingers so calluses. Yeah, two guitars stunned me. Yeah, they're looking at you all day long, right there on the wall or on the stand. Yeah, I should practice again today a bit because I had great calluses. Great calluses. The day I joined the military, they do this little blood test thing on your finger, and the person doing it was like, "Are you playing a guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how did you know?" And they're like, "Yeah, because you have this callus on your finger. It's hard to take blood." So that was funny. But yeah, maybe I'll play a bit later if this was maybe alcohol, maybe I would play. I don't know. Chen Sun Chu, hello from Taiwan. Thank you for being here. Hope everything is super duper well. Flobby Bobby, I got Himi Gouache as a gift and hoped you'd have some tips about using it. Anyway, what manga are you reading now? Oh, so first off, I can actually give you a general advice. So one of the more fun things to me, especially with new mediums, is before I look into tutorials and how-tos, I actually like to play around with them. So maybe you have already done that. That's great fun because you're almost experiencing it in a different way. Now, hear me out because it is actually interesting. So, when you learn the techniques and how to do things from other people, first off, it does narrow your perception a bit because you're like, oh, okay, that's how I do it. And you just go that path. But even if we set that aside, it's more like some of the magic and unpredictability is lost. So hear me out, because I did this with acrylics. I did this with digital. Just play around with it. Try and paint something that you like, that you think looks really cool. Just try it out, and it'll be terrible. You have no idea how to use the medium, right? I know that gouache can be diluted like watercolor. It's water based, but more than that, I don't know as much. It's opaque. Try it out, because that's the magical moment you'll never get back. Because once you have studied how to properly use it, even if it's all good and you're actually happy with the fact that you learned you can't get those moments back that you don't know how to use it. So try it out. I highly recommend it. Saint Anki, Caroline is pretty creepy, and I think from Leica Studio. You probably mean that one. No, I actually mean another one, and I'll find it for you because I can always find it very easily. Creepy Kids Stop Motion Devil something. I'll tell you which one it is. Yeah, it's the Adventures of Mark Twain. And I'll actually put the link in the chat if anyone wants to watch it. Maybe after the stream. Creepy. I'm writing it in all caps. That's the one I was referring to. From the Adventures of Mark Twain. It's crazy. I don't mind it, actually. I watched a lot of creepy stuff as a kid, and I think it did a lot of good, actually. David, just emailed you one of my water project paintings. If you do another critique, perhaps you could include it. Brutal feedback required. Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to. Did you include a reference as well? If you included a reference photo, that'll be great. Let's see here if I can already see it. Yeah, maybe it'll take a second or two. To show. Yeah, I think I don't see it yet, but I will probably see it in a second or two. But yeah, if you haven't sent a reference to free video editors, Avid. Oh yeah, Avid. I remember that too. DaVinci. I've heard good things. iMovie. Yeah, great suggestions actually. Yeah. Avid Media Composer. I do know is robust. Is good. DaVinci. I have heard it's good too. Yeah. There's plenty of ways, when I got started. I'm sure in the past there was nothing. I remember in 2015, 16, when I started editing videos, there was like Filmora was big. DaVinci, I think, was big. Avid was also big, but it was too big. It was too robust. And for me as a beginner, it was too much. But yeah. Spidey, is cold pressed. Trisha, I remember. Is cold pressed paper good for watercolor paintings? Of course. Cold press, hot press. It's about experimentation, finding what you like. I personally really like cold press. It's the type of paper. By the way, I did this painting yesterday or 2 days ago, I think. It was really fun. Just for fun again. It's a scene from our park here. I really loved, so I was there. Here's a tip for you. I was there and I was like, I was playing with Ruth, by the way. I spent a lot of time playing with Ruth this week. And I thought to myself, if I had my plein air stuff, I would paint this now. So I decided to take a picture because I really liked the very abstract composition here of the background, especially, and then the green at the front. So I said, okay, remember this, remember how it feels, remember what it looks like. I took a picture and I painted it back home, and some of the plein air magic did stick. And you can tell this is a little different from my usual stuff, because plein air does tend to bring out some different things, And by the way, so this was, again, a vacation week, so I did this just for fun. Again, zero pressure, not as work, just for fun. And then I also did this little project where I framed. So one of my favorite Pokemon cards is this one. the Aerodactyl EX, and I decided to frame it. Just put it in a frame. I had this foam thing, and I just cut it to the size. It's really bulky from the back because it's a graded card, so it is quite bulky. And yeah, that was a mini project I did maybe 2 or 3 days ago. You can see myself in the computer screen. That's funny. But yeah, how can I show it properly? Yeah, you see it. You probably see it with the ring light. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just thought it's cool because the card is black. There's a lot of black in it. The case, the SGC case is black, and then this black background. So yeah, that's definitely a favorite of mine. I'll probably put it back there or in front of me so I can see it. So yeah, just a fun week for fun personal projects. Good in a ragu. Are we talking about food? By the way, we barely talked about Venice, but it was a lot of fun. Big Hard Books and Classics. Love you on your channel from Portland, Oregon. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Is that you with the guitar? That's really cool. A really cool profile pic. So you're probably much better than me with the guitar. Richard, Liron, I have an actual question. I would consider myself an average watercolor artist. What do I need to do to make it to the next level? Yeah, so first off, don't consider yourself average because that comes with judgment. Maybe you're an intermediate, right? And some people are in this situation. And let me tell you something. I remember, so when I look at your paintings, I remember a time where I think I was close to that in my painting skills. I just remember it. It wasn't that long ago. Like what, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years? I'm not sure even, but I remember that. When I look at your paintings, they actually remind me of my old stuff. So in a couple of years, you can be where I'm at currently easy, I think. It's funny because sometimes it is true that the thing that brought you to this point is not the thing that will take you to the next one. But I would argue I don't remember doing anything special, generally speaking. What I did was just continue painting. So in a way, it's just do more of it because you are progressing, and I do see the improvement. So it's just doing more of it. So to you and anyone else who feels like, I'm kind of in the middle, intermediate level, average level, it's very often about just doing it. Now, if you can afford to increase the time you spend painting, that will help. If you can paint, that's the first thing I would say. If you can paint subjects you're uncomfortable with or you don't have much experience painting, that's great. So one thing you can try and do is like try and paint water, just almost abstract water that requires like significant wet work. Or try painting, take a picture of sand, just sand. That's something I've been playing around with. I'll do soon. Just a weird pattern and try and be as close as you can to it, Try painting a subject you're not as familiar with. Try to mix it up and use colors you're not used to, like hues, like actual, paints and pigments you're not used to. Because it's just about doing more of it and just continuing to improve and breaking off your routine once in a while to make sure you don't go in a rut. Okay? So the answer is easy enough. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're on the way for sure. So I think you're there. And I would also say, Nak, thank you so much. Just watch his videos. I would actually argue where you're at, make sure you paint enough. Like, it's okay not to watch videos for a while. I would say maybe even you could benefit from that. If you feel like you're watching a lot of videos and you're feeding off of a lot of different artists, maybe try just take a break from that for a month or two. Try even, there's stuff you see around you on a day-to-day basis that you think, oh, this could be a cool painting, but you never take a picture of. If there's something like that, take the picture and paint it. Stop watching tutorials for like a month. Just try painting, because that's when I feel like I started switching from the more generic intermediate style to something that is more me. Very often that improvement you're looking for isn't necessarily a change of skill. It's more of a change of style, of making it more your own. and your work still is, it reads as your own. Like I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that's Richard. But still, just more, do more of that, more yourself, be even selfish. Maybe there's something you thought of painting and you think that's a weird subject, why would I paint, but I do want to paint it, kind of, and do it, that's my 2 or 3 cents about it. I hope that helps, and thank you, Naxon. Leonie, hello, Liron. Oh, we have a similar name. That's funny. I'm a fan from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. That's for the kind words. Really, really appreciate it. Our names are similar. Flubby, what's your favorite pasta? Like shape, you mean? So spaghetti is pretty good. I had spaghetti carbonara in Venice. I love carbonara. And if you mean the type, so if you mean like spaghetti, ravioli, penne, and all of that, I actually like ravioli a lot because it's bonus. You get the filling, you get cheese and stuff in it. It's always nice, spinach, whatever. So I love ravioli. I love carbonara. I do like something that has a bit of the creamy mushroomy taste, but I also really like a mix with tomatoes, so a rosé type of pasta. I don't know if that's like a thing. Rosé, we call it rosé, where it's the cream and the tomatoes as well. So that's the kind of I like. One pasta that I ended up making a few times recently is pasta that you cook in one pot, which is nice. It's an interesting process. You take a pot, put throw the pasta in there, fill the water up to the level of the pasta. That may be blasphemy for many, because usually I cook it regularly, but the last couple of months I have tried it because it's really good. So you fill the water up all the way to the top of the pasta. Don't go too much over that. And you add, so the recipe says to add tomato sauce or something, canned. I don't know what you'd call this. There's sauces like muti, and then there's the concentrates. So I like to make my own sauce. So I'll put garlic, onion, tomatoes, and then I'll put the sauce in. So if that's something you want to make yourself, that's better. You add that to the water and the pasta, that just as high as the pasta, and you let it cook. And because you cook it already with the sauce in the water, the pasta absorbs not just water, but the sauce as well. So the pasta is a little redder. And then near the end, I'll add a bit of, cooking cream, or whatever you call it, just for, like you would. I don't know. There's different names for it in the US. Here, it's just there's whipping cream, there's cooking cream, all of that. So the cooking type, even the slightly sweet whipping cream works for that. You just pour it in, mix so that it's a nice little orange color. It's darn good. It's very fat feeling. It feels fat. You feel the cream. It's very creamy and rich, and it's darn good. I love when the pasta absorbs not just water, but also the sauce. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but everyone makes it. I know here everyone makes it. I'm sure everyone makes it in different places around the world. It's just really tasty. But yeah, it can't beat just pomodoro like normal tomatoes, but I like the carbonara taste a lot too. Saint Inky, the Xbox Game Pass for PC is a subscription, but you can cancel it after the first month. Another tip, Pentiment, a murder story game that looks like manuscript art from the famous Limburg brothers. Pentiment. No, I actually like these types of games. I'll check it out. One thing I really enjoyed is the Telltale's video game of Game of Thrones. I forgot the name of it. There's two actually. I really like that one too, even though the endings were always sad. So I don't know. I was hoping that I could win, but you can't win because it's Game of Thrones, which ended up sucking anyway. But yeah, I didn't like House of the Dragon. Charnel, how are you doing? I hope everything is well with you. And I finally got to reply to your email last week, and I believe you saw it. I don't remember if you replied back, but yeah, I'm so sorry because I feel bad when I'm behind on communications. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. Did you get enough time to paint lately? Hope you are. And feel free to send me some work. Marina, how are you doing? Puvendran, how do I draw better for watercolor? I want to urban sketch, so I draw by doing projects or lessons. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting question. I would say if you enjoy just being outside, just go for it and practice sketching. It's very hard sometimes to sketch accurately on plein airs. That's just reality because you don't have a frame. It's a 3D space. It's very hard to notice shapes. It's a bit of a different skill. I would say try doing plein air sketching and then also sketch indoors based on photos. Just put a photo on your screen and try and draw that. The general things you want to work on, like chapters, is gestures is high up. That will improve your work a lot. Just search gesture drawing. You want to learn the basics of proportions. So how do you draw something accurately? Like if I'm here, then my shoulder is at the middle way, about a middle way of the paper. And then I can put a mark here where my shoulder is. Then I can figure out where the other shoulder is, place stuff, be a little more accurate. So you work on just sketching from observation outside. You work on measuring proportions accurately. You work on gesture, which adds a lot of grace to your paint, to your sketches. And you also then want to start incorporating a bit of structure. So start drawing three-dimensional boxes. Those are the kinds of things that will help you draw no matter what you're drawing. Boxes translate really well to cityscapes and urban stuff, and gestures translates really well to people. You're gonna need these skills no matter what you're gonna sketch. So I would say that's that. Now, if you were talking about like, do you watch tutorials? That's great too. Watch tutorials, try and sketch the same way the person is sketching, and then compare and see where you got things wrong. All of these good stuff. Just general advice. If you have more specific questions about drawing or a technique you're having trouble with, feel free to ask. I'll try and address that as well. Sainiki, thanks. Don't know that one. Yep. Ted, thanks for the advice. Appreciate it highly. Do you have any idea when you can look at our artwork we sent you and tell us? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So let's do that next week's live stream. I think that'll work great. So I'm going to schedule it for myself. I'm going to write it down. So next week, that's going to be the 22nd, right? So I'm actually going to add a little thing. I have a content schedule, unified content schedule for everything. So that is going to be, I'm going to write it now because otherwise I'll forget. So you heard it here. So today is the 15th and then 17th, 18, 19, 20. I just have a spreadsheet, a huge spreadsheet with all the content I publish. 23 and 24. So that's going to be the 22nd live critiques. So if anyone has any more paintings you want me to critique, feel free to send them. Just make sure you send, if possible, the reference photo as well so that I have something to compare it to. It makes it easier to review. And yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So it's a date, as they say, the 22nd. Next week, we'll do that. Hopefully that works out. Plumpy, gouache has a fun trick to it. Think of water, tea, milk, cream, butter. Yeah, it's kind of similar to watercolor, right? I think the movie Carolina. So now I have to look it up because I want to see, because I do like creepy stuff. Carolina. Oh yeah, no. What I'm talking about is really creepy. I think it's more creepy than that. But I'll check it out because I'm gonna have a week vacation week after this upcoming week. So yeah, that's not Leica. Looks like stop motion I made 40 years ago using Lord of the Flies. Yeah, Dark Dry. Who is this, and why did YouTube recommend me this chair? Well, I don't know why you're here, but welcome aboard. Hopefully, you're still here. Let me see if you're still here. Well, I don't know why I'm here. So goodbye and good luck with your 60 current watches. Thank you so much. But I'm happy that YouTube just recommends me to random people. Actually, it's been interesting because YouTube has been recommending me to a lot of people lately because of the shorts. The YouTube loves shorts. So one of them got like 700,000 views, which is crazy. Nancy, I like it. Great painting. Thank you so much. Yeah. Do I have anything interesting here to show you that I painted recently other than that? Well, you have watched this one. I have shown you this one from the video. Really nice detail. Let me hold on to it properly. There we go. You never know how to hold it straight to the camera. There it is. That's a nice one. And yeah. Eternal, hi Liron, I can't stay long, but I hope you and Ruth are well. Thank you so much. Alex, hey Liron, love your work and channel. How often do you do critiques? Very random. It's very random. I will do one next week, 22nd. Oh, nice. Some tips for the Hemi. Little wet. Hey, insert coin. How are you doing? I hope everything is well. Probably takes a whole bucket worth of water before you can get skilled with the drops. Yeah, that makes sense. Just continue playing. Good advice. Yeah, it's true. I appreciate your tutorials on painting people. Thank you. Big hard books and classics. Yeah, I'll do more people. Honestly, it's usually, I don't know why, but the tutorials on painting people are, I find them the easiest. And for the longest time, I didn't do any figurative because I wanted to avoid nudity, but I do want to try out doing some figurative paintings. So let me know if you're interested in that. Well, we'll risk, showing some nudity on the channel. But yeah, James Gurney is really good at it, and Jared's also great. Yeah. I do lots of small single items like cars or people. I get too intimidated by a large scene. That's a problem a lot of people have. If you want to call it a problem, it could just be a preference. Definitely, doing just a single object is much simpler, and I think it's a good way to improve. Because when you paint a scene, you're essentially painting a collection of small items. So I treat it as shapes, right? So the background is just shapes that are broken. So let's say you have this cup, and then it intersects with my whatever jacket here. So the jacket is another shape, right? So it's essentially one object, and then another object, and then another object, and another object. It's just tons of objects. So it's very logical to just paint one object in isolation. Try and get it right before you go for a scene, if ever. Some people like that, and some of the best watercolorists just do still lifes of single subjects without even the background. It looks really good. Big hard books and classics says shading and values. I need practice. Yeah, that makes sense. Shading, it's something I need to talk about more, like in isolation, because I always show shading and value as part of a tutorial. I do have a video on like how to see the layers, kind of visualize them. If you probably just watched it because a lot of people have, but if you haven't, you want to check that out. It's like how to see the layers in watercolor. I think that's the title. Flobby, Liron, thanks for your advice. I'm not so focused on upping my skills, and I have more fun now and get more skill. Yep, that's the best recipe. Just have fun painting. So one of the best things you can do. I like anything past 6 o'clock. Oh man, Anne Marie, Hyleron, and everyone else. You're making me. Yeah, man. I started talking about food. My Italian grandmother would be freaking out hearing this. Yeah, most of the pasta I made in life wasn't made that way. I put some garlic, some olive oil, or butter, or both, and then I let the garlic stay for not too long because it can burn really fast. I add in a skillet, of course. I then add the onion, low temperature. I like to really get it. We have this induction is it called in English? I don't know, that like electric stove. So it's 4 out of 10. I used to just look at the flame, when it's a gas stove, you just see the size of the flame. It's much easier. And now I have numbers, which are very weird. So like 6 is really weak, and then 7 burns the food. So you'd have to really learn how to use it. But anyway, 4, like really low, onion for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes even. Then I'll add in the chopped tomatoes, some, salt, pepper, blah, blah, blah. And then I like to add muti sauce because it actually tastes really good. It's just tomatoes and salt sometimes, depending, because I don't like the pre-made sauces, just have tons of sugar and tons of crap and different additives. If you can get the cleanest one, that'll be just tomatoes, maybe salt. That's my preferable kind of thing. And then I let it cook for a while, make the pasta separately. I like it a bit al dente, but not too much, and then mix together, and that's it. Vodka sauce. Sounds good. Cream and tomatoes, with or without vodka. I never put vodka in it. It's interesting. Never heard of that idea. Jennifer, I'm a 65-year-old aspiring watercolorist from New Mexico in the USA. You brighten my days and teach me to. Such a deal. Thank you. That's cool. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Honestly, I love that. I think I really need that aspect of communication in my work. It's so boring to me just to paint. When I paint something good, one of the first things, like really a result I'm very pleased with, one of the first things I think about, wow, I really want to share it. So yeah, I'm so grateful for you being here. Came for the art, stayed for the pasta. Maybe one day we'll do like an eating stream. I'll just eat eat my food in front of you. Yes, not yesterday. 2 days ago, I made some chicken liver. So I like it. I've had it before, obviously, but this is the first time I actually cooked it myself, and it was really good. It was really tasty and very easy to make. So yeah, it's very tasty. I know some people that have an aversion to organs, but liver is like the lowest tier. It's very easy to eat, so it's really tasty too. Pretty good for you, I think. Ro, hi, how long per day should one practice to get good at drawing? Thanks for the work you put in your channel. Really appreciate it. Inspiring. Thank you so much. Honestly, I think how long per day? My answer is it's a fun answer I started to get into lately. It's just as long as you can. Just spend as long as you can painting and drawing and whatever it is you're trying to improve. The more time you spend doing it, just like the guitar, the better you'll get and the faster you'll get. I do think if you can spend at least 5 hours a week is really good. 3 is also great. 3 sessions of an hour. If you can't, even an hour or 2 a week is good. So you divide it by days, maybe 20 minutes a day. You do a real quick painting. I do think it's a good practice to do finished paintings. So even if it's a fast one, like this painting took me 20 minutes maybe, because it's easy washes, it's relatively simple. A lot of shapes are merged together. So even if you can just do one, but I would say start with do some swatches, some fun loose stuff if you have some resistance to it. But if you don't, just do a quick painting of a simple scene. Landscapes are great. Even cityscapes like this one's good. Park scenes, even animals still alive. Just get one done fast. And it's great practice. I think it's great practice to paint something from start to finish. Even if the result sucks, it's still great. It's still great art too. And sucks is subjective too. No worries, Jennifer. I almost read it twice. No worries. Richard, thank you so much. I had to take a call during your advice, but I'll listen again on playback. Good. I think it was a decent advice. So yeah, I hope you'll listen to it. Coralina is so amazing. It's a must watch. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely watch it. I'm Up the Cat Alone is called. I have no idea what that is. I'm Up the Cat Alone. Is that a thing? I don't know what it is, but yeah. I'm just Googling stuff now. Hello from Moscow. Thank you for the stream. I'm drawing as I'm watching you. Oh, that's great. That's great use of time. So yeah, definitely recommend drawing, sketching. It's fun. I'm so grateful that my work allows me to listen to music or listen to podcasts as I paint. It's so fun. Naxan, I'm glad I found your channel through shorts, actually. Oh, cool. I recently got into watercolor and your style is just perfect. Did you, so you, because I remember you before the most recent wave of shorts that I published, right? Because you've been here for a while. So do you remember what maybe one of or some of the first shorts you watched? I'm curious to hear. But I do remember you on a stream for a long time ago. I don't know if it's that long, but I remember you before the latest wave of shorts I did. So let me know. Tembo artwork. Hey, thank you for advice you gave on a video years ago. It was about using 3 primaries in a painting. That advice has served me well. Also, I have your cool girl painting in my cool girl painting hanging in my studio. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I sent you the painting. Right? I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, a portrait, right? I love that one. Spidey, do you have any pets? Yes, definitely. I have Ruth, but ever since I don't have a sofa here in the studio, she doesn't have where to sit in the live streams. So she's chilling in the living room. I can show you a pic. Of course, if you ask me about that, I have to show you one. I'll show you a video. Here's one from today. She's so funny and short. It's out of focus, I know. But she's the bestest. Yeah. Hey Kajor. Shalom back. Saint Inky, Urban, and Watercolor. I can recommend Alfonso Dan. Yeah, he's great. So when I got started in urban sketching, he was the first person I watched. Like, he has this series on urban sketching. It's wonderful. Sith or Scythe, what are your sources of income if you're comfortable sharing? Yeah, definitely. My main sources are two, I think. So one would be the courses. So any of the watercolor courses that I sell. I have, the website, and I market them myself. I sell them. It's just access to the website with the lessons and videos, lifetime access about watercolor, sketching. I have quite a few courses out there. So that would be one. The second biggest one, I would say, or not the second, but the second one that's kind of half and half, is the Amazon books. So I published my books on Amazon and started back in 2013, built some audience, and built a lot of reviews there. And that's a major chunk as well. I think recently, like, the courses started to surpass that. But for the longest time, that was my main income. The book sales from Amazon. So I'm super grateful for Amazon. Some people hate Amazon or whatever, have opinions against it, but I have to be, to some extent, I have to be grateful because they've been responsible for me being able to do this. So I published my first book in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And then I remember having my long kind of trekking trip through South America. And I started making income there. I was there on Christmas, I remember, and I sold I sold 100 books. It was crazy. Or not 100 books. I think it was in the very beginning. I made $100 during my travels. I'm like, nice, like passive income. One of the things that really fascinated me when I started, getting into the world of working, growing up, was freedom in time, especially. So to not be chained to work that requires me to be there for certain hours. That was the first. It's my personality. I've always been this way. I just don't like it. Funny, because I was in the military, which was the most that. And then I worked for a short time in tech support. When I first moved out of my parents' place, I worked for a year in tech support, and that enabled me to let the business grow on the side, and pay my rent and all of that. Of those great stuff to actually be able to pay for your rent and pay for food and stuff. So yeah, and then I published my book, started building an income from there, published my courses. I have some courses on Udemy. That was a big source of income that just went like this during the last year and a half. I don't know what happens there on Udemy, but they made tons of changes. It's a mess now. And then there are a bunch of smaller sources. So selling the paintings, Patreon supporters, what else? Like doing one-on-one lessons, all of these small sources of income that combine with that. I have sold the language rights of my books and had them published in Spanish and in Russian. So the publishing houses pay me once a year, the royalties. So it's a bunch of stuff. And my advice, if I can translate it to some advice for anyone who wants to make money from art, first off, it is possible. It is very much possible. You have to be very business oriented. And by business, I don't mean anything like, business. I mean, you need to understand that you sell a product. If you can find an audience that will buy your product, you'll do well. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is very important to have multiple streams if possible. Don't rely on just one source, because the Udemy income went from, don't know how much I want to disclose like specific numbers, but think of something that can like pay your rent. It went from that to almost zero. Okay, imagine it that way. Over the last year and a half. And I don't sweat it, because I worked really hard over the last 3 years to build other sources, right? So it's a bummer to have that source of income just shrivel up like that. On the other hand, that's life. Things change. People move from different platforms. People, some trends, some things are more trendy. Urban sketching was very trendy, so I sold more of that book during that time. It's just how it is. But you have to build a lot of sources. So maybe you do commission work, right? And then maybe you have an ebook online with a few very useful tips you sell for like $2. So that's another source possible, right? So yeah, those would be the main ones. One other small source of income is just YouTube ad revenue from the few videos I put ads on, but this is very small amount, very, very small. You couldn't even pay rent with it in most places, I think. So yeah, I hope that's a very conclusive answer, I guess. Ambi, I just can't get rid of the pressure. Sometimes it's so hard to even start painting. Now that I have less time, the pressure to produce sometimes is even increasing. Yeah, that makes sense because you have more time. So that resistance voice in your head is like, well, you should be doing it even more. So there's even more of a clash, right? Again, lower expectations, lower your, just you can do this while watching now. I could do this while talking. Just grab a piece of paper, have a random little piece of watercolor paper here. And I know you talk about painting, but I can just, do a bit of a sketch of myself. Here's my face. Here's my shoulders. Here's the microphone, and I just can, here's the wire. Here's my chair. Here's like, you just practice. It's a scribble. It means nothing, Don't put too much thought into it. Just scribble something out and call it a day. Call it a day. Be proud of yourself. Like, I'm proud of myself. I created today, right? I didn't do anything but this today in terms of painting, drawing, It's okay. Lower the pressure. There's no need to do that to yourself. Just know you want to do it, so you just do it. One of the things that I've been working on a lot, especially in the last year, was removing a lot of self-judgment. That's a big part of creativity and freedom, because you do want a certain amount of freedom when creating, right? There is a bit of discipline when it comes to practicing, and there's a bit of discipline in the technical side of things, but you do also want a lot of freedom, and you're your biggest advocate. That's how it should be. So if you don't judge yourself as much and you're just like, oh, cool with whatever it is, whatever you create is good. Do you game? So do you mean like video games? Yeah, I just talked a bit about it. I'm currently playing Rise of Tomb Raider, which is a game for 2015. I love that. I played Legends Arceus Pokemon, not the newest one, the one before that was actually really, really good. But I'm looking for more. Pokemon games are such a pain point, and if you're in the sphere, it's just, they could be so good and they're so bad. Even the game like Scarlet and Violet, I'm sorry, yes, they make incremental improvements, but it's still the things that people praise them now for. They're like, oh, you can finally do this, and finally, those aren't even features that are mentioned in other video games because they're so old, 2014, 2010. It's so annoying. But Legends Arceus was good. It was good. It was one of the best ones in recent years. But still, like, you could do so much more with it. You can do so much more with it. So give me something really good. Let me control the Pokemon. As soon as the battle starts, I want to control them. I want to fully control it. I want it to be almost like Pokken, Pokken Tournament. Every company that is not Game Freak does a better job with the Pokemon games. It's so annoying. But yeah, I'm not that big of a gamer, but I do enjoy it once in a while. I love the old Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars video games. What else do I have here? I did like Assassin's Creed, like the original trilogy, Brotherhood, Revelations, all of these three with the Ezio Auditore. I loved 3. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. Far Cry I played a long time ago. Assassin's Creed 3 I liked too. That's the story of the United States and the natives and all of that. That was good too, but oh wait, that's Ezio. No, that's the game after that. I really liked Black Flag. That's Assassin's Creed 4. I loved Rogue as well. And then I tried playing Unity. I have it here. I'm looking at it. I have it here on my other monitor, just the icon. It's just not that good. The parkour isn't as good. The missions aren't as interesting. So I just quit, which is a shame, just not really. That good old apple seller. Hey, I'm Dipto. Just a shout out. Huge fan, by the way. Thank you so much. That's a cool profile pic. Very strange one. Hey, Jad, how are you doing? Some suggestions on art supplies. Well, it really will depend on what you like. If you just have some, Liron goes mukbang. Yeah, never that. That's what I'm wearing right now is the worst thing because every small oily stain is visible on it. It's terrible. I have stains that will never come off like ever. It's a shame. So yeah, if you have money to splurge and you paint watercolor, I would say if you don't have good paper, invest in that. That's fun because this is a really nice arch paper or Saunders water. I can't even remember. Good quality paper is always fun. If you really want to try something out, get like a 600-gram paper. That'll blow your mind. So yeah. But yeah, paints. If you just feel like buying stuff, a lot of people are in that position. So it's they just want stuff. So it's fun. One other thing I will say is if you paint watercolor, maybe try getting something different. Get markers or something you never tried before, maybe pen and ink, dip pen. It's fun to experiment with these things, and you'll find that it actually enriches your watercolor. So one thing I find, like if you do a lot of inking, it gets you thinking, how can I use that to my advantage with the watercolor? Maybe I'll use the brush the same way I use my inking pen. It gets you thinking about things a little differently. Tat, love chicken liver. I roll it in flour. I thought you said I roll in it. Like, whoa, that's an interesting hobby. I roll it in flour and add salt and pepper and fry it. Dip it in ranch dressing. Amazing. Yep. I'm doing it old school, just onion, slow, onion ring shaped onions, and then I just cook it on both sides, salt and pepper, flip it. But yeah, that's a good idea. And flour, or maybe some people do breadcrumbs. I know. It's a very kind of common food here. Chicken liver and also a liver, not dip. It's not a dip, but it's more of a, it has a stronger texture. It's like pureed chicken liver. Just really tasty. And I love that slightly metallic taste. I don't mind that. That's really good. Saying Yankee, best way to learn to draw is getting locked up for a few years. Yeah, because COVID was a great opportunity. Christine, how are you? I think it's been a while, right? Hope you're doing super well. Hey, John. Nak, I like Kubo and the Two Strings. I wanted to watch that. Kubo and the Two Strings. I don't remember if I watched it all the way till the end. Let me just remember that. Yes, I can't remember. Like I remember every picture here of every scene I see. I remember. I just don't remember if I watched it till the end. When I saw the trailer, I thought to myself, I really want to watch it. Yeah, I think I watched it all the way to the end. It's a great one. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. One other, let me try and find for the name. 3D animation movie about. So I don't know if you remember two brothers going on a quest. What is that? What's the name of that movie? Onward. Onward is great. If you haven't watched Onward, it's a great movie. Let me link the official trailer. It's really good. We enjoyed it a lot. Onward movie trailer. It's one of the more wholesome movies I ever watched. It's really, really nice. Onward. It's by Pixar. Yeah, I wasn't. It's such a cool movie. It's clever too. I like it. Fun time. Newbie artist here, really appreciated your visuals with the Rubik's Cube and explaining different positions of 3D shapes. Your explanations were awesome. Thank you, YouTube Drawing, and you helped me. That's awesome. Yeah, I think one of the best videos I have on perspective and that kind of a topic was the live stream we did. It's like 2.5, maybe 3 hours long. It's so conclusive, I think. Thank you so much. Flobby, you should definitely do a live cooking segment. Oh man, that's taking it to a whole new level. Maybe I will. It's fun. Also, the voice acting is, it was great. There are a lot of good recent stuff. I miss seeing Ruth on the live streams. Yeah, even if I call her, she just stays there in front of the heater. She's like this cute on the sofa. once I get something here, it's something we've been talking about forever. I really need to get it done. She will be back to the live stream. Scythe, you're awesome. I'm practicing drawing. I gotta pass this exam. Yeah. So wait, are you? It's a drawing exam, or is it an exam on something else? But yeah, just I hope that if you really enjoy art, you go for it. You know, I actually wish I would have. You know, it's hindsights, but when when I was in elementary school, we had this thing where you do a lot of different classes. You have art, soccer, origami, just creative stuff, karate on Fridays. That was it. Wasn't normal school day. It was they had this kind of a thing there, and I did a lot of origami. I did a comic class, comic book class, and I remember seeing the kids and what they did was so good. They used to do almost like copy from Asterix comics, just copy the characters, and I was at awe with what they did there. And I almost wish back then I would have already realized that I could make something out of it. My mind wasn't even there, it wasn't even close to understanding I could make this my career. And I've had so much fun drawing and sketching just for fun, which is funny to think about. I didn't even have that awareness, and no one really guided me that way in that direction. Some people encouraged me to cultivate it as a hobby, but even that was very little of, you know. And if anything, I hope for future generations and people just generally to have that awareness. You know, you can actually make it a living. I really think you can make almost everything a living if there's someone out there that will pay you for something that has to do with what you love doing, you know. So yeah. Spidey, what's your pet's name? And by the way, our pet is so cute. I have a pet cat named Kaka. Oh, cool. Her name is Ruth. Just Ruth, Ruth. Ruthie. Yep. Cute dog MB. Yeah, it's a really cool profile pic. I always like that dog painting. Shamar, hi, just saw your short on painting. Oh, thank you. So that short led you to here? Are you new on the channel? Thank you so much for being here. Matt, Knights of the Old Republic is my top 5 of all times. Oh, that's super cool. Let me show you, actually. I'll grab the camera. I'll show you the desktop here. This is my games corner. I put them in the corner because I don't want them to be too central because it is a work computer, but still. Knights of the Old Republic 1. I'll re-download number 2 and play it soon. I do have the Pokemon trading card game. Sometimes I use it. I play it. Assassin's Creed, Unity, which was a little boring, and Rise of Tomb Raider, my current favorite. I actually can't wait to play some more. It's so good. It's such good dumb action. By the way, Matt, I'm curious to hear which one. So, did you like the first one better or the second one? Because I don't really remember. Sorry, just cleaned it. I don't remember which one I preferred. I'm actually curious to hear, Matt. Let me know. 1 or 2, KOTOR 1 or KOTOR 2. It got to a point where I played KOTOR 1. I completely forgot the characters for KOTOR 2. But yeah, both are fantastic. I remember the second one had better graphics, slightly upgraded, but like both are fantastic. I just don't remember if I liked the first one or second one better. Next, 60 seconds of watercolor was the video which introduced me to your channel. Oh, that's cool. I'm a pencil artist trying watercolor for architecture drawing, and a black and white tutorial naturally caught my attention. Cool. Yeah, definitely. It's a great tool to bring in some depth very fast. There's a reason why watercolor was favored by plein air artists, and even artists who did oils and other mediums used it for quicker studies because it's fast, it's fun, and you can create a lot of volume very fast. You know, it's much faster than charcoal, and because I played around with graphite charcoal, it's much faster actually, especially if you're just, let's say, if you're just using pen, charcoal is much faster. But yeah, Spidey, how many brushes do you have? More than I can count. I have a lot of brushes. I have 4 here that I use most frequently. No, 4. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 that I use frequently. Then I have 4 others that I use less frequently there. Then I have probably 40 back there in the closet. 40 brushes. Some unopened. It's just the reality, you know. I have a lot of brushes. If I ever do a giveaway of art supplies, Brushes should be one of the first things I give away. Maybe I'll do that. Christina, how are you doing? Hope the project's going well. Keep me updated, of course. Fun time. What's a good paper for sketching with pencil and charcoal? Ooh. So people can chime in because I don't know much about it. I did enjoy Strathmore's 400 series. I don't remember if it's just textured, but Strathmore is good generally speaking. But yeah, I don't know much about these types of bristle type papers. So yeah, maybe someone else can chime in. I don't know much about that in particular. Yeah, I don't know if you'd call that pate. Maybe you would, but we just call it spread. Actually, we call it liver spread here. It's very interesting the way it's very interesting the way we treat different foods when I compare it to here to, let's say, Europe or the US. So for example, tahini sauce. People call it tahini sauce. We just call it tahini. Trina. In Hebrew is trina. We never say sauce. Rotev is the word for sauce. We never say rotev trina. It just sounds silly. We say just tahini. It's a food in and of itself. It's not even a sauce. The way I make tahini is so different from maybe what other people are used to. So what I do, and I don't know exactly how it is, but if your tahini sauce is very liquid, that's not how I make it at all. So the way I make it is I take usually a whole lemon. If it's a huge lemon, I'll use half. But if it's a smaller one, I'll use the whole lemon. Cut it in half. Squeeze all of it into a bowl. I add salt, pepper, paprika, turmeric. That's it. And then I add a bit of water and I mix it just with the water, because that way all the the condiments, I guess, or not condiments. It's just salt, pepper stuff. They melt better. And then what I do is I take the raw tahini, which you buy raw. I don't know if in the supermarket in the US, other places, maybe it's already like a sauce, but you buy it raw here. So it's almost, it's not honey texture, but it's very, I never remember the word for it, but it's not as fluid. And then I pour that in, and it's intuition by now. I don't measure, and I mix it. It's thick. It has thick texture. So if I take a spoonful and I do this, it's gonna slowly just drop. It's not gonna be liquid at all. And then recently we started adding garlic because May likes garlic. I didn't like garlic in tahini, but then the more I tried, it's actually really good. It's very good. It's very good, like health wise. Garlic is the best. What is it, like the best nature's antibiotic or whatever? Not antibiotic, but you know what I mean. So yeah. So garlic now is a nice addition. We just take the thing that you squeeze it and the garlic comes out of it. Very good. It's very, very good. I'm happy that it's a great addition to tahini, and it's thick. It's really thick. That's how we make it. It's almost a food in its own right. You can dip vegetables in it, whatever. But when you dip them and go up, it should barely drip. That's how I make it. But yeah, so we don't. Some things that are called in other countries are called sauces or pate, or even like mashed potatoes. In Hebrew, it's just puree. Puree. We just say puree. The word for puree, or we just say puree. That's when you say that, everyone knows it's mashed potatoes. It's not a different kind of puree. It's not mashed pumpkin, which we don't even have here. It's not a product. It just doesn't exist here. It's not mashed sweet potato. It's just usually potatoes. So it's interesting seeing the differences. But yeah, that was the huge tangent. Sorry about that. Fun time. I took out some chicken liver this morning. I fried it in seasoned flour. Oh, a lot of people do the flour thing. Interesting. Played a ukulele. It's actually not a ukulele. I know it looks like a tiny. It's a small guitar, small-ish. It's not tiny though. That was a good series. Yeah. Maybe I'll get the guitar. Maybe I will. Maybe it'll convince me. John, thanks for the pep talk about creating without pressure or judgment. That's also something I needed to hear today. Yep. Just be your own best friend. Really, it works. Christina, can you clarify difference between gesture and contour drawing? Also, on what instance is gesture drawing best for? So yeah, the best example I can give you is that's straight from Stan Prokopenko video on gesture. So let's say you have these 3 just balls, okay? So that's the contours. The contours is the lines of the balls, but their gesture is this. It's the motion that connects it all. Let me give you another example. And this is a great one. So you see this? The contours are going to be all of the small details that you draw and everything else. But the gesture is actually this. That's the gesture, the swoosh into the wave. That is the gesture if I had to convey it. Okay? And then breaks here completely. And that's the beauty, right? It's a contrast. Flow versus very strong, harsh break, right? So that would be the difference. Now, when what instance gesture drawing is best for? Whenever you want to get a sense of movement. So here's what you need to remember. Gesture can be applied to anything. If I now draw myself, I will utilize the principles of gesture to get certain lines of the drawing in. It's the utilization of simplification. So I'm going to use simplified lines that convey the curves, like this curve, the best way I can. I'm not going to follow a wobbly contour line trying to capture every bump and everything. I'm just going to get a confident rounded line. And that's it. Whether it goes this way, that way, whether like this, like that. That's how I look at gesture. So it's useful for everything. However, yes, if you want to talk about like when is it really useful for capturing people's movement, right? If you want to capture movement really fast, if you're doing storyboards, if you're doing stuff like that, it's great. It's a great tool to capture motion very easily and convey it really well. So that would be it. The best example I can give for contour versus gesture is this: just 3 balls versus the actual movement. I hope that helps. Maths. Hello, mate. Hey, how are you doing? Nak, I just watched Onward yesterday. Thank you, Liron. Oh, that's funny. It's such a good one. Seth, it's an exam for my college course. If I pass, I will be able to change my major to visual design. Please wish me luck. Yeah, definitely. That'll be great. And college is a great opportunity to experiment, try out a lot of different styles, have some level of freedom, even though I know some places aren't that free, and meet a lot of people. And, a lot of people that maybe in the future will be important in the industry you're trying to get into in the future. Hey, Lynn from Ohio. I miss Ohio. I hope to visit soon. My uncle's there. It'll be great. Matt, Coder 1 is a classic, but 2 has a weird charm of its own. Lots of oddball characters. Yeah, it is a lot of oddball characters. I looked at the character Rooster. I don't know what to call it, the 9 characters, and it's so bizarre. Everyone's so weird. Yeah, the original one it started it, I guess. It's just good. It's just a good gaming experience, good battle system. It's great. Like the turn-based action that is kind of a combination of real-time and turn-based. It's real-time turn-based, right? In the story and the choices, I love when I have enough choices, dialogue, the whole concept of dark side, light side. Oh, I loved constructing my lightsaber. It's just great. Christina, newsprint is good for sketching with pencil and graphite. Yeah, I hear that a lot, actually. Yep. Funtime, never heard of newsprint. We'll check it out. Yeah, it's a bit softer, so it makes things a little easier, I know, if you stack them together. Violet, I wanted to read it, Violet. Hey, how are you doing? Shamar from Shorts. Interesting. Yep. A lot of people, the Shorts help. Lisa, we always called it chopped liver, but is it like finely chopped, like meshed? Tahini is underrated. Yes, it is. It's a great source of fats, especially if you're doing something like a keto diet and you need a good source of fat. You just need to be a little careful, like not eat it raw, like too raw, because high quantities of raw tahini, it's just very hard for the body to digest. It makes sense. I spent XQ. Hey, Liron. I'd like to know your opinion on the nicest countries to visit and maybe do some paintings there. Ooh, interesting. So I'm the weird type of person where I love painting, I love art, and then whenever I'm abroad, I barely do any. I barely paint. When I'm on vacation mode, usually I'm just chilling, low effort. That's how I am. But the classic places like pretty much every place in Italy, in terms of nice countries to visit, like I really love Italy. We just spoke about it earlier today with a friend. Italy is one of the best places, like as a tourist. It's so tourism oriented, great food, great place. It's not that expensive. It's just a great place overall. I've been to Rome, loved it. Been to Florence, loved it. Been to Venice. Now we say Venezia in Hebrew. Venice, loved it. Have I been anywhere else in Italy? Yes, I've been to Sorrento. Loved it. Went a bit through, was it Naples? I think so. Loved it. Loved everything. The countryside, beautiful. Cities, beautiful. Italy has to be one of my favorite places. Yeah. I love the US as well. A huge variety. If you do a cross state thing, you can find just about anything. It's way more expensive to travel there, especially from here. It's a long flight, a bit more logistics. So we usually tend to just visit less there, but I love it. I've been to the US many times actually, twice as a young kid, I guess, when I was 7 and 9. Then the next time, yeah, it was when I was like a couple of years ago, I think. When I was 26, maybe I think 27. I don't remember. Maybe I'm confusing. I'm not sure. Something like that. But when I was much older, loved it every time. Tons of beautiful views. A great variety of views. Um, what else? I think Paris is a great city for urban sketching. There's just a lot, the Haussmann buildings, it's called. The style is so beautiful. Tel Aviv, honestly, is a great city here. Um, Great weather, and you get the beach, and you get the nice boulevards, uh, nice people, lots of colors. It's a great place to paint as well. Um, what else? Like, where did I visit? I've been to a lot of places, South America. I've been to I've been to Prague like 3 times. I loved it every time, but it was more of the setting. Like, I wouldn't say it's a perfect place to paint or anything like that, but just I had a lot of fun with friends, and it was just a great time. But yeah, those are my 1.5 cents. I'm not really sure. Gabriel, I just walked into Food Talk Live. Yeah, kind of. Usually it's art talk and painting, but now it's food talk. Yeah, food is internationally renowned. Food is underrated. It's great. Thank you, Spidey, and you got it, Christina. That good old apple. Hey, I'm waiting. So I'm not. Did I miss something? Did I miss a message? Are you waiting for me to reply to something? Oh, okay. For the for the guitar. Yeah, you may have to wait for a long time. Who is your favorite watercolor artist? This guy. No, I don't have a good answer. I love so many artists. Um, Joseph Z and Alvaro Castaneda were some of my first loves in watercolor for sure. So I have to give it to them. Um, Anyone else prominent? I love so many artists. It's really hard to. Let me blow. Any episode of Painting Masters, you'll get a good kind of understanding. But I will also say John Singer Sargent's watercolors, because they're a bit older, they have this unique grace to them. It's more like establishing what is watercolor. So I love his watercolors a lot. Not to mention the oils, especially the looser plein air ones. Fantastic. Yep, indeed, like pate. Gabriel, is there a brush you would not recommend? Here's what I think, especially beginners should be wary of. Flat brushes. If you do get a flat brush, make sure it has good water capacity, because many flat brushes tend to have close to zero water capacity, and they're just not that useful unless you paint very small details. So be wary of that. You want to avoid like really cheap synthetic brushes. They tend to not be as good. Even though I do like synthetics, generally speaking, I think it's better than fur for sure, more humane. But just off the top of my head, I would avoid flat, synthetic, borderline zero water capacity brushes. These are dangerous. Now, if you're gonna paint anything that is not tiny, I would avoid any brush under size 8 unless your speciality and the thing you strive for is hyperrealism. If you don't strive for hyperrealism, anything smaller than an 8 is too small. You just don't need it. You probably will not have to use it at all. Now, if your thing is hyperrealism, go for it. You need those hairline brushes. That's cool. No problem with that. And I am excluding rigger brushes like this one. More of the thin ones that are made for signing and for small wires and details. I'm talking more about like a tiny point brush. Those don't have much use, in my opinion. If you like signing with them, cool. I'm maybe that's the good thing. But the problem is the water capacity is so low. So if anything, get a rigger, longer, maybe with a thick base or a sword brush, even the one that looks like this, like one line straight, and then I have one here. I can show you. Or maybe I don't have one here. I'm not sure where my sword brush is. It's traveling across here somewhere. But yeah, that's good. Something that has capacity to it. Those are the kind of brushes, the other ones that I would avoid. Yeah, I hope that helps. Tent. Hey, Tent. Hi, Liron. I have an term math exam on Saturday. Can you wish me some luck? Hope you have a great day. Yeah, definitely. Good luck, Tent. You can do this. I know you can. Just study hard. Try and relax when you're there. You already know what you know. You don't have to stress about it. You'll do well. That's what I'm telling myself to when I'm trying to relax. It's like, I did the work. What I know is what I know, and it's okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Usually, it's not as bad as one imagines it to be beforehand. So, yeah. Josh, good morning from Canada. Thank you for being here. John, are there more episodes of Painting Masters coming up? Yeah, definitely. It's just something that I've just been a little inconsistent with videos in general. And you see, I'm testing all sorts of weird things, and I'm trying a lot of things. And I put a lot of effort to shorts because that seems to work. A lot of growth. I've more than doubled my monthly views from shorts and subscribers to the. I reached. I think I got maybe around. It told me about 2 weeks worth. In 2 weeks' time, I got 100. Not 100, 10K new followers, which is a lot for me. So definitely more. Yeah, it's just it trickles. Whenever I feel like it, I film one. I actually did one fairly recently. It was just not a painter. It was Kentaro Miura, the author of Berserk. So I did one maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. It's not that old, I guess, but yeah, there will be more for sure. What's your favorite watercolor painting of my own? I think the OCD painting, the one I shared in the past, in the recent past. OCD and the Car 99. If you go over to my Instagram, you'll see both. Those are great. Plumpy Lump, do you follow any other art YouTubers? Yes, all of the ones you mentioned. I actually am subscribed to what has to be over 100 painting, like watercolor specific channels. And if you expect, oops, almost dropped my coffee all over my desk. That happens way too many times today. If I expand it to not just watercolor, I have maybe 20 more. So yeah, I'm subscribed to all. Whenever I feel like it, I'll watch a video. I just for fun. I don't really, maybe I'll glean some new piece of information from it, but I don't watch it like, I don't watch every new thing that comes out. Metza Sargent's charcoals are my favorite. Just uncanny, especially when you see them in person. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen charcoal work by him. Let's see, because of course watercolors they're special to me. The watercolors he did, but the oils are the main thing. But oh, really? That's cool. I don't think I've ever seen. Have I? Maybe I'm forgetting seeing them in the past. Wow, this is great. Yeah, he was so good. I love it. And you love sketches. I love anything that looks almost like work in progress, almost unfinished, sketchbook work. That's great. I wasn't even familiar with it, honestly. That's great. John, I love the Painting Master series so much. It's very inspiring. You do a great job pointing out things in their work. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people love that. I'll do one. Let's schedule one for next week. Let's just decide that Sunday's video. This Saturday there won't be a video, but I'll do Tuesday's video. That's going to be Painting Masters. Why not? It's fun. I enjoy these. It's just, sometimes I need reminding of, I have this series. Jane Beta might have quit YouTube. Really? I don't remember who that is exactly. Because again, I'm probably subscribed. Yeah, I'm not subscribed. I'm actually not subscribed. On the channel, I'm not subscribed. I will now. Yeah, it's a bit of a different style but I actually think I follow her on Instagram. So yeah, close. Oh, is it the end? Why? Well, I'm gonna watch this video later. I'm always curious to see videos where YouTubers and artists talk about why they quit. It's interesting to me. I think in a weird way, it gives me more motivation to it strengthens my resolve because I think about why they quit and I'm examining myself. But that's too bad. Plumpion follow up. I know that you're able to paint portraits, but do you like to? Sometimes I do enjoy painting anything because I enjoy painting a lot. But if I have to say it's almost like an action film. So let me give you a great example. When I paint a landscape or a cityscape, to me, it's pure relaxed painting. Sometimes it's fast, but it's still very relaxed. And that would be like a sci-fi movie. I'm just throwing it out there. But then throwing an idea out there. But then imagine portraits. So portraits would be an action film because I really have to be on top of everything. Now, I enjoy action films. I love them. I love the action. I love that I have to be fast and make sure things flow together well and be very accurate with the facial features. I love action films, but I don't want every movie I watch to be action films. And maybe it's not my favorite genre, right? I enjoy a good action film here and there, right? So I hope that makes sense. Now, the type of portrait I enjoy more doing is the one that is black and white, strong contrast. I just paint a shape and take care of the edges. This I love. This is more closer to the more relaxed work I'm talking about. But if it's a full color, full value portrait, it's more of like that action movie I enjoy maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. My favorite genre is still the bigger freedom I can get from painting a cityscape or a landscape, which is interesting because some people will find that harder. But to me, that's how it is. I think it makes sense. Tembo, I'm still using the silver black velvet brushes you recommended years ago. Yeah, I still use them. I still have them here. They're great. Dita, hi Liron. I'm currently smitten by Schminke watercolor. Can you recommend basic colors for Schminke? Thanks. Oh, that's a good question. I think it would be the same basic colors for every brand. I'm not too familiar. I played around with them before, and I do occasionally use Schminke pens. It's a bit hard to give you like a good basic color specific to Schminke. I really like their magenta, which is PV19, like Quinacridone Rose and Daniel Smith. Magenta is great. By the way, an SAA too. Magenta is great. I love their new Gamboge when I played around with it. But it's going to be the same, Phthalo Blue, French Ultramarine, the boring paints, right? Those are the ones. I will mention I really liked their reds, just generally speaking. Reds, oranges, yellows, I liked a lot by Schminke. But yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to say specific for Schminke. I'm just not familiar, especially not with new stuff, because I know they release new paints all the time. So yeah, always. Ted sending good vibes towards Tent. Tent, you'll do well, I'm sure. John, we'll have to go now, Liron. Thanks for another awesome, fun live stream, my friend. Sending you best wishes for a happy Hanukkah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. It's Hanukkah soon. Light candles, meet some family. Footloose Goods. Hey, how are you doing? Do you have any favorite urban sketchers? Can you recommend some to follow? Mark Taro Holmes, I love. And then I'll bring the book of the other artist because I always forget his name. Fabreur. I don't know how to pronounce it. If I can find it. this guy that did the Paris in watercolor. Fabrice Moreau, I guess. You can read cursive better than I can. Fabrice Moreau. That's some high quality urban sketching. Let me show you my favorite. I think it's the first one, or no, it's not. Maybe it's the last one actually. Oh, look at this stuff. It's great. Place de Vosges. I love that. That's urban sketching, but it's very it has it's a finished touch, right? It's a sketch, but it's a finalized. Some of these aren't finished. Like you see, this one here has some pencil to it. Even this one has the people here just sketched out. That's great. And Mark Taro Holmes. I've been really enjoying his work. I think I did a painting masters on him. It's gotten to a point where I've done so many painting masters by now. I don't even remember for sure some artists. Did I cover that artist? Did I not? I don't really. Yeah, I don't remember where was my favorite. Maybe it's just a cover one. Where there was one that was insane that I thought to myself, how could he have done that? Give me a second, I'll find it. If you go to my Instagram, to the oldest, oh yeah, it's this one. That has to be one of my favorites here. Because it has everything. It has the clouds, it has the strong sun. Just great, great work. Man, this is good. So I would say him and Mark Taro Holmes are some of my favorites. For sure. I'm going to ruin this book's jacket. There we go. So yeah, maybe I'm biased because I got this book and I saw a lot of his art. And I'm sure there are other great artists out there. Those are the ones I'm most familiar with. Spidey, is Canson cold pressed 300 grams? I didn't get to use Canson at all. So sorry. I can't comment on that. Sunil, hey bro, I drew you yesterday and tagged you on Instagram. Well, let me take a look now. The reason I read it this way is because it's all caps. Let's see. Instagram. I'll just go to posts where I'm tagged. I don't see it actually. I would have seen it if it was in my tagged posts. Let's see. What's your username there? I'll take a look. Is it the same? Let's see. Let's see if I can find you. I'm searching to see if it's the same profile pic. I don't see it for some reason. But so you tag me in the photo itself, and then it will show. Right? If you tag me in the photo itself and not in the post, in the text, I think it should show. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it in my tags. Sorry. Shamar. But I will take a look later, make sure that I see it. I'm currently drawing Bob Marley with a ballpoint pen. Oh, that's fun. I had a big Bob Marley poster when I was like a teenager. I loved Bob Marley. Advanced Merry Christmas, yeah. Oh, and I'm gonna do a sale for the courses for Christmas. I'll set it up next week. Ted, Alvin Mark is one of my favorite urban sketchers. He is on YouTube. Okay, I'm unfamiliar. Let's see. Alvin Mark, urban, not Urban Dictionary. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's very nice work. He has a lot of like heavy black lines. I like that a lot. Let's see. Alvin Mark. Subscribe. Looks really good. Looks really into the urban sketch festas and meetups and stuff. I'll take a look after the live stream. Shelly, Chag Sameach, happy holiday. Thank you so much. Love these live streams. Got to go back to work. Yeah, I'll get back to resting soon. 24-hour story. So okay. If it's a story, I'll see it in my messages. So I'll check it now. Let's see here. I don't know why I don't see it. Primary. Make sure to send me a message too. Because sometimes I don't know, maybe. Oh, okay. You sent me the username. No, now I have to see it. Come on. So I'm gonna go. Sorry, I'm sorry for the dead air, everyone. I just want to check it out. Please have a look. I feel like I will. Okay, I found you. There we go. Message. I'll hit the message. Accept the message. I allowed message. Come on. Can I see the pic? Let me see the pic. Oh, there we go. That's really cool. That's really nice. I thought it was a post, but now I see it. I'll show. That's really neat. Is that from the video? Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna screen capture it. Good. I followed you back. Really good. Spidey, do you watch any India YouTube channels? Like Indian? I don't know, maybe, I guess. I mean, I'm subscribed to Nitin Singh. But I guess I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels. So I'm sure there are people from all over there. I just don't remember exactly who's from where off the top of my head. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I am. So yeah, I think we can wrap it up soon. People need to get to work. I need to go back to my rest. I just said I'd update about the jiu-jitsu class. It was great. I'm alive. I didn't break anything. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna go again tomorrow. Went Tuesday. There was one on Wednesday, but it was too like the instructor told me I'll feel all kinds of parts of my muscles the next day, so maybe don't come the next day. So I'll be there tomorrow as well. It was great. It was fun. Rolling, sparring, learning techniques, understanding nothing, seeing things demonstrated, looking at it like nothing, like a language I don't speak. So that was an interesting experience. But I will keep you updated on that. But in any case, we can wrap it up. So just a reminder, next week, I'm gonna go back pretty much to bye bye Spidey. I'm gonna go back pretty much to normal work. Thursday's live stream is gonna be live critiques. We will have a painting masters episode. What else am I missing? I will do a Christmas promo. I think of taking all the courses, bundling them up together, and selling it as a bundle for a great price. Or I'll just do a usual 15-20% off. We'll see. But there will be a Christmas discount. And I will probably run some ads on Facebook too to make sure a lot of people see this. But in any case, thank you so much. Thank you, John. Thank you, Spidey. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Shelly, Ted. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciate you being here. We'll definitely be careful. I need my hand so I can't break anything, at least not soon. But yeah, people are very careful there too. So it's good. But yeah, take care, everyone. Paint. Enjoy yourself. Don't put any pressure on yourself. I mean, thank you so much, Plumpy. Don't put any pressure on yourself. It's meant to be fun, you know. And generally, I think life isn't easy, but it is meant to have fun moments. So why not allow that to yourself? Chag Sameach, Lydia. Thank you so much. And take care, everyone. We will talk again soon. Till next time, take care.